Well, let's just do that again, shall we? Because I thought there were some Jains in the room, and that was a fairly feeble response, if you don't mind me saying so. JJ Janendra?
Janendra!
Not bad. Maybe a bit of practice. So if I'm honest with you, I didn't really know much about Jainism or the Jains. And if I'm honest with you, again, I only got interested when somebody from Harrow sat me down and said, there's a group of people called the Jains in India, and they are a remarkable people, and you need to know about them. I said, well, what's so remarkable about the Jains? Well, apparently, the best artists in India are Jains. Apparently, I was told the best musicians in India are the Jains. The fastest, most talented sportsmen and women, apparently, in India are the Jains. The most successful entrepreneurs in India, apparently, are Jains. The most beautiful women in India, apparently, are Jains. And apparently the most handsome men in India.
Oh, that is true.
Very true.
So you can imagine, how could I not be interested in a community like that?
Yes, absolutely.
And so I thought, well, I better find out about the Jains. And so I got this invitation once to come along to a Himsa Day celebration. And so I popped along and stood at the back, and I got spotted by Mehul Sangaraika. And as a result of that, I was allowed the huge honour of booking the room the following year for the next Himsa Day celebration. And when I did that efficiently, 4 years on the trot, an all-party group was being formed, and I was given the honour of being nominated to be its chair. And genuinely, it is a privilege to do it. If I'm honest with you, I'm probably, it's fair to say, the only Jain member of Parliament. And I'm not a very good Jain at that. I struggle a bit with the concept of ahimsa, particularly at a time when Wales, the greatest rugby nation in the world, are about to play England. I struggle even more when the greatest football team in the world, Arsenal, are about to play Tottenham Hotspur or Chelsea. But I believe in the concept, and I particularly, how can you not believe in it when it was espoused with such skill and such reach by Mahatma Gandhi. The other thing about Jainism that I struggle with, if I'm honest with you, is veganism. And just to punish me, Mehul, when I'm getting my briefing and my instructions, which happens on a weekly basis, as you can imagine, I get taken to a vegan cafe in Harrow. Just outside my constituency as well, that's even worse. In Pinner. And I get told by Mehul how being a convert to veganism has completely transformed him. He's half the man he was, in the very best sense, as a result. And I look at myself in the mirror and I'm just intimidated by the very prospect of becoming a vegan. But I do know this about the Jain community, that it is a wonderful community, it is a peaceful, loving community. It works extremely well with all the other communities in my constituency. And it is true that amongst the ranks of the Jain community, there are some remarkably successful entrepreneurs, as well as very successful people in other professions. And therefore it is a privilege to come along to the JITO-preneurs event today, and sure languish after the three lords, but at least a member of the House of Commons has been allowed to come along. Now, you've heard from three politicians of different persuasions up to now, and you'll probably would be wanting now a summary of the budget outcome, so you know how it's going to affect your business. Basically, everything you wanted from the budget hasn't been granted. It could have been a lot worse, but not much worse. And Brexit's going to cost you even more money than you thought. That's a rough summary of the budget today. And as you can tell, a view of the budget that has been developed assiduously, is not partisan or biased. in any way, shape or form. And the wonderful thing about the all-party group is that it has Conservatives in it, it has Liberals associated with it, it has, of course, the very best parliamentarians, the Labour parliamentarians associated with it, and it has all sorts of other odds and sods attached as well. But it is a route into Parliament for the Jain community. And whilst there are many entrepreneurs who are very successful in the UK, and we hope that those of you from abroad will mix with them, and as a result there will be even more deals. There is still a job of work for politicians like me to do to make sure there are more Jain MPs in the House of Commons, and more Jain councillors coming through, and more Jain members of the House of Lords. And that is an ongoing task, and we try and advance that cause a little bit. But welcome to the House of Lords. I'm sorry that you're having to slum it down this end of the palace. I know it's tough, but I hope at some point in the future to welcome some of you at least up to the House of Commons and the better, more sophisticated where the real talent exists. And on that provocative note, as I'm looking at the Lords to my left, my visa has expired. Enjoy today.